Hello, welcome to the studio. Hi, Steve. Hi, Lorraine.
Hello.
Welcome. Steve, this is your first time, but Lorraine has been with us before. Not on Zoom, though. You've actually been in our studios before. Welcome. So, why don't we start letting our viewer first know a little bit about Steve, since you've been here for the first time on our show, and I don't want to give away all your beautiful talent. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I'm 15 years old, soon to be 16. I was born in Israel and moved to Canada when I was 3. After
Okay.
trouble fitting into the new environment, I adjusted with difficulty because of the language barrier. But after a couple of years of learning English, I felt comfortable. I started swimming when I was 10, and I've moved a long way since then. I'm currently the Ontario Swimming Championships winner, and for the 100-meter breaststroke,
Okay,
a
hold on,
Canadian
hold on,
junior
hold on. I
champion.
want to go. Hold on. I want you to tell me what is that? What is it exactly? This championship. This
It's provincials pretty much.
okay. But what do you have to do in order to be in this category?
Um, so everybody in there's age groups 10 and under, and then all the way up to 15. And then when I won, I was 15, and out of everybody in Ontario, 15-year olds, I produced the fastest time.
So I just want to ask you something. I feel you because you came here when you were 3, when you were just like starting like to learn a language, and then you had to come here to learn another language. It was difficult. At
Yeah.
3, that's amazing. I came here in 12 when I was 12, so I know how difficult to learn a new language, come to a completely new country and have to learn a new country. But good for you. Okay, continue. Tell us more.
So I am currently Canadian Junior Championships qualifier for 18-year olds. So that's like
Wow.
nationals. And I qualified for the Olympics trials.
Wow. This is amazing. This is like a big thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. This is amazing. Are you gonna, I guess you're gonna represent Canada, right?
I would choose to represent Israel, but I don't think I'll be allowed. So if I make it, these Olympics are going to be a long shot. But if
Oh
I
no,
make
don't
it,
say
it's
that.
Canada.
Don't say that it's a long shot. If you want it, you will achieve it.
What age did you start swimming?
Competitive 10, but like I learned how to like float like when I was like 8.
Wow. Do you know how to swim, Lorraine?
Sort of. Okay.
Don't look at me. I've never learned how to swim yet. That's the one thing I don't know how to do. That's amazing. So I know you've got. Okay, so where are you now with the Olympics?
I mean, I currently I'm training to improve my times, but since the trials are open, so they're like up any age. Currently, I don't think I'm in the top 2. You have to be top 2 in Canada to qualify. And I think I'll have a better chance next Olympics, the 2024.
We're gonna cheer for you. Oh my God, we're gonna have an Israeli born in the Olympics. Yay! Awesome, Lorraine. So this is Lorraine. Lorraine, you've been with us before. I know you have. She's a singer, a songwriter, and she has an amazing, amazing voice. Lorraine, you really do. I mean, for the first time I heard you, you were like you were singing. I think when a man loves a woman,
Yeah.
you were singing a song. You were so young. You were singing a song for that a woman would sing, and you were so awesome. You really were. So
Yeah.
from the last time, I mean, you were like what, 2 years ago? I think on the show you were like 10. So tell us a little bit. What have you been doing since then? I don't want to give away because I know some of it, but tell us.
Since then, I've kind of been just focusing more on my singing. I've been going to more shows and I've started to do more lessons, like singing, like professional singing lessons.
Okay.
And yeah, I've just been singing more.
But
And
you've also been,
also,
huh?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Also, I've been writing some original songs since then.
Tell us about it. Yes, tell us. I know you have one song out. So before we let everybody hear this awesome song, tell me
So
about it.
the song that I just released about like a year ago, or like a few months ago, it's called Boys Will Be Boys.
Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah, they are.
and
Good
it's
song.
on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube.
Oh,
And so those are all the platforms you can like look at it to hear the song.
you
And
know what? Before we continue, let me let everybody hear the song. Okay, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
I wake up, your playlist is the soundtrack to my every morning. Your t-shirt, I saved it, 'cause I know you'd leave without a warning. You and me, we could be something that I just dreamed of. Honestly, we could be something that can't break up. I've been patient, so I am still waiting. If you're mine, would you treat me like your only queen? If it looked like you, would you only see me? Everyone keeps telling me I'm the only girl, but I can't say. I guess boys will be boys. I stay up, just waiting. I send a text, but you just ignore it. I moved on, but I'm faking. Saying you've changed, but I know that you're playing. You and me, we could be something that I just dreamed of. Honestly, we could be something that can't break up. I've been patient, so I am still waiting. If you're mine, would you treat me like your only queen? If it looked like you, would you only see me? Everyone keeps telling me I'm the only girl, but I can't say. I guess boys will be boys. If you're mine, would you treat me like your only queen? If it looked like you, would you only see me? Everyone keeps telling me I'm the only girl, but I can't say. I guess boys will be
So it's like, wow, I've seen this, your performance before. It's amazing. So I'm going to ask Steve, what do you think? Boys will be boys will be boys. What do you think? Boys will be boys.
I think so.
So Lauren, tell me. I mean, you're 12 years old, and you've already released this song when you were like 11.
yeah.
So, I mean, you're 11. Where did you come up with the song like "Boys Will Be Boys"?
I had some help with Mike Goldfarb. He helped me write the song, and technically, I just thought to myself, like, I had like a crush when I was younger.
When you were
And-
younger.
Yeah, and they didn't really like pay enough attention to me, I guess, and like I kind of backed away from it because like
Okay, wait a minute. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the crush, or is it asking you too much?
asking me too much.
It's okay.
And I just
But
kind
hold
of
on, we just
backed
want to
off.
know, are you over that crush now? Is it
Oh,
over?
yeah.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Okay, perfect. He doesn't know what he's missing, but okay, go ahead.
And technically, I just thought to myself that boys will be boys because like
But that's a very mature statement. Boys will be boys. That's what I was asking. Very, very, very mature statement. I
How
know.
long did it take you to write it?
Good,
A
good
year,
question.
like
How long?
everything like ready, but like for the song, at least like a few months, I think.
Wow. So I know you've been doing other, you said in the beginning you were doing shows. What do you mean you were doing shows?
I've been competing in shows
Okay.
like um, Talent Nation. I went to audition for AGT.
Okay.
I did open
So for
mic-
those, so hold on, for those that don't know what AGT is, you want to tell them?
America's Got Talent.
Okay.
Just to let you guys know.
Yeah.
And yeah, those were usually the shows that I would be doing.
What kind of experience was it to go to AGT?
Very, very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, can imagine. Can
There
imagine.
was like a bunch of people there.
Wow.
At least like 1,000,000 or like 1,000 or more.
So I'm sure, Steve, you can identify with nerve-wracking because competition is really, really hard. I know my kids don't do swimming, but they did, karate competition, and I know how nerve-wracking it was for me. Never mind for them, how nerve-wracking it was.
With
How do you
swimming,
deal with it?
you get like used to it. The bigger competitions, obviously, it's still nerve-wracking, but like after like you swim for a couple of years, it gets better. Yeah, you learn to deal with it.
Yeah, sorry. So you getting ready for the Olympic? And how often do you swim? Like what's the regimen? How do you do it? Like every day? How
At
do you
least 10
train?
times a week. In the summer, it used to be 14 a week. So
Wow.
every morning and every afternoon.
Wow. That's a lot. And to combine with your schoolwork and with friends and family and all that, that's a lot. You don't have any spare time.
What like if the busier your schedule is, I feel like the easier it is to time manage. You like
I agree. I agree with you because that's how I do my
Yeah.
life. But yeah, but you're only, well, 15 going on 16. It's different. But I know you have another talent, Steve. And I've seen some of your beautiful drawings and paintings. And we're going to show the viewer right now how talented you are. It's amazing. So that's why I was asking, when do you have the time to do all that? Because that's beautiful. And I know what it is to paint. It takes time, but it's beautiful. Tell me about that talent.
so I started painting when I think when I was like approximately 9, 10 also.
Wow.
And I used to take classes once a week and I would do art there. But this year I started to do ink drawings on my spare time,
I saw it.
and I don't like one approximately takes me like maybe like 30 minutes and then just like the final touches 30 more. So it doesn't take that much out of my day.
Well, for you, it's so easy because you're so talented. It's beautiful. They're gorgeous. So people can see it right now, on the TV, on the screen to see how talented you are. Like really, really beautiful. Beautiful. So, Lauren, what grade are you in?
I'm in grade 7 at the moment.
And Steve, what grade are you in?
Grade 11.
Grade 11. Oh, what planning to go to university?
I plan to go to, I think U of T is my first choice, and I plan to go to math and major in math and maybe minor in business. That's what
Wow.
I'm thinking.
Wow. Lauren, I mean, you're not thinking that far, are you?
Not really.
You're only in grade 7. You still got time to think about it. So, Lauren, you wrote beautiful song. What's next? What have you been doing with yourself?
I have been working on some new ones.
Of course, yeah.
But since like COVID-19 started, it's kind of been harder. But like
It's hard
once
for
that
everybody, yeah.
it would be easier to release them.
Okay.
I'm doing a song called Sweater.
Sweater.
It's about a girl also crushing on another guy.
It's okay.
And, like, the guy doesn't pay much attention to the girl, and yeah, so she just tries to get his attention more. I have another one. This one really connects to me because it's called Too Soon to Say Goodbye, and it's about my grandpa
Oh.
that passed away.
Oh.
And I wasn't like really, really close to him, only because he spoke Hebrew, sorry. He spoke Hebrew,
It's okay.
and I couldn't really I didn't really know Hebrew at the time, so I didn't really get to communicate with him, but he was like really close to me. And then my other song, it's called Enemy, and it's about me. Okay, so for a while I have been like bullied, and I had like fake friends or some other like that, and I had a lot of enemies.
What does that mean? Hold on. Let's go back. You said you were bullied?
Yeah. Like, well, not really like bullied, but like it felt like it was bullying. So
Well,
not
that
like
it was
physical,
bullying.
but like mental.
Yeah. That's terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
That's not nice.
And yeah, so the song, I think it's gonna be called Enemy. So
Wow.
yeah, and
But I just want to go back. Those that bullied, it's only because, they don't have what you have. That's all. Don't ever let it get to you. It's their jealousy or it's their issue, not yours.
exactly.
Okay? Don't let them get to you ever. In either one of you.
Ignore them. Yeah.
Are talented, yeah. Did you ever have that happen to you, Steve?
I feel like with me, not as much, or it happened to me just as much, but I just ignore them right away, so I don't even notice it.
Good for you. That's the way to do it. Did you hear that, Lauren? You
Yeah.
ignore the bullies. They're not worth your time.
Yeah.
They're not worth your time. Okay, so you wrote this a song. You're gonna call it Enemy. Well, you might change your mind.
Well, yeah. And then there's a song. So because of COVID, like 2020 hasn't been a great summer.
Well,
So
for anybody, yeah.
So my song is called Summer Vibes, and it's about 2019 summer, because during 2020 there wasn't really anything. So like I brought like a flashbacks and other kind of stuff.
Nice.
And my newest song.
Oh my God, how many songs? Look how busy she is.
My newest song.
Wow.
I'm directly working on it like right now.
Okay.
I don't really know the title yet, but the topic is kind of like anxiety, and like how people have to like fight through it, and like just
I think it's a really, really good, I'm sure you'll help a lot of people, because I think many people are suffering from anxiety and what's happening especially with COVID-19, and, isolation and, at home. And some people don't have a house full of people. Some people are alone. And good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for you to get all those songs out. Steve, what is in your immediate future?
So this year, because of COVID, nationals got canceled in Canada and in Israel, and I was supposed to go to both. So for next year, I hope to go to Israeli nationals.
Wow.
And my dad used to work as a coach there. He was head coach at the Jerusalem swim team, which was the biggest club at the time. So I'll be looking forward to going to Israel and competing there as well.
So I guess we're all looking for COVID to be over. I think the world wants COVID to go away. Just go away, leave us alone. That's I think what we all want to do. You know what? You two are such a talented two individuals, but you're such a pride for our community. I mean, you belong to us. I'm so proud of both of you. I mean, I've known Lauren for a while, and I'm sure we'll get to know you too, Steve, and I'm sure you'll come back. And I fight for it, and you'll get to the Olympics. It's not a dream. You work for it, you want it, and you'll get there. Good for you.
I'll try.
Of course you will. You want it. You have to want it. Good for you. Good for you too, and good for you, Lauren. And you just have to come back and tell us all about your achievements. And Steve, trust me, continue painting. Your paintings are just about amazing. You are very, very talented.
Yeah.
Very talented. Lauren, what can I tell you? I hope the studio will be open soon. COVID will go away. You can come to our studio and actually record songs in our studio.
I really hope so.
Yeah, right now, there's nothing we can do. It is what it is. But I hope to see you soon and hear all about, your glory. And hopefully, maybe I'll get to see you on national TV, And I'm going to say, I've known her since she was 10 years old. Amazing. You'll go places. You too. Amazing. And I wish you a lot of luck. And I'm sure that if you want it badly enough, you'll be the champion of anything that you want. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. And I hope you come back to see us again. Thank you. Welcome to our show. I'd like to welcome Arlene Weisbart. How are you?
I'm very well, thank God. How are you, Gila?
Good. I'm so glad you're here with us. And you're from, let me make sure I get it correctly. You're the executive director of the Canadian Friends of Yatsura.
Correct. I am. I have been a director for 16 years.
Wow. So let's start with those of us that don't know what Yatsura is all about. So Yatsura is actually an Israeli organization in Israel.
Correct.
Okay.
So what I do is I'm raising awareness throughout Canada and funds for this unbelievable organization. So here people don't really know much about us, but in Israel, you just can get off the plane and just say, which I did a couple of years ago, I'd like to go to Yatsura. Oh my gosh, what do you do? How do you help them? What do you do in Canada? They were so overwhelmed with just me coming there. What Yatsura does, it provides what people generally know it as, it provides medical and rehabilitative equipment free of charge to anyone living in Israel. It doesn't matter. We are non-sectarian, so it doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are. We are apolitical. We are not involved with politics.
Good.
We are there for we are there for the people of Israel. Whether you visit or whether you live there, we are supplying equipment and social services.
So hold on, because I knew about Yatsura, and I remember like they were giving wheelchairs, so like I remember those equipment. But I didn't know it was all free of charge. I just heard you say it's all. So who pays for it?
You do. Our partners, the people of Israel. Do you know that 80% of the funds that we raise come from within Israel?
Wow.
The Israelis support us, and 20% comes from Chutz La'aretz, from the rest of the world, where we see the majority coming from the United States. But we do see some coming from Canada, which I've been working on for many years. And the generosity of all of you and our partners. And you are the ones who help us provide this to the people of Israel.
So let me ask you, is this like in Israel, is that a short-term, lending the equipment, or how does it work?
Both ways. We just had an incident where we loaned a breast pump out to a mother, and we loaned it out to her 4.5 years ago. Nobody seemed to document it. Was documented, of course, but nobody seemed to go after her. She brought it back now, and she said, "Thank you, Yatsura. I had 3 children during that period of time, and I used it for all 3. So we, of course, we're so happy she used it for. But everyone really does return. They're very fortunate. Isn't that a great story? When I just heard it now.
It's a good one. I like that.
She borrowed it, but yes, it's relative. It's short term. Let's say we loan out hospital beds now. We call it a house patrol, and we loan out hospital beds to people who are leaving the hospital who would like to remain at home and spend the rest of their time there under the care and supervision of their family caregivers at home. And so those are usually short term. They're out for 8 months, a year, and then it's returned. And wheelchairs can go from 1 day, we can loan them for 1 day, up to a year. It depends on the need.
Wow.
And we are very, very fortunate to have.
Yes, you know what? Israel is very fortunate because I know how expensive those equipment can be in Canada. They're like, I mean, to buy a wheelchair and wow. And even to rent, it's very, very expensive, especially if you need it for long term. So like, that is amazing. I watched, you know what? Let's watch this clip that you sent me about Yatsura, and then I want to ask you something about it because I thought it was amazing, especially during this pandemic. Okay, so let's watch it.
בימים האחרונים כולנו הפסקנו לנשום. הורים, ילדים, קשישים, חולים. יד שרה מספקת ציוד נשימתי לאלפי ישראלים הסובלים מהשפעת הנגיף. אבל המלאי בישראל אוזל. תרמו עכשיו להצלת חיים. חפשו יד שרה בגוגל או חייגו כוכבית 6444. יד שרה, נותנים את הנשימה.
So we saw this clip and definitely you're doing something extra during this pandemic. I mean, the whole world, you know, has been suffering from. And of course, Israel as well as Canada. I don't even want to talk about the pandemic, but let's talk about what Yatsura is doing in Israel, you know, during the pandemic.
So we have secured many ventilators and oxygen equipment, which we normally use, but we have secured and purchased $10 million worth of equipment. And why? Because we know that when we're giving out the oxygen equipment, we would like to help them stay home, people to stay home from the hospital. And we have ventilators now. We have a group of people who specifically deliver this equipment to those that are being discharged from the hospital. So if someone's being discharged from the hospital a little bit earlier because staying in long-term care in a hospital is not good either and can develop other infections and diseases, we try and get them out as, you know, families want them out as soon as possible. Then we step in and we bring within 24 hours of the request, we'll bring you the oxygen equipment that you require. We'll bring you the ventilators you need. We will bring you whatever other medical equipment you'll require, and we'll bring it to the doorstep, of course, and make sure that it gets in. But we at least are dressed accordingly. We're properly attired for this, and we're trying to make sure that we help it with reducing the infection and spreading of the infection while we're doing this.
So there's really no shortage of ventilators in Israel, correct?
You know what? I can't talk for the entire Israel, but I can tell you that we try our very best to accommodate everyone and everyone.
No, I'm just thinking as you're speaking, and I'm just thinking if you guys have purchased so many ventilators, you know, is it that means that the hospital has enough? Because otherwise you'll be taking away from hospitals the ventilators. So there must be. I'm just doing 1 + 1. So that means there's enough ventilators in Israel, you know, to supply everybody.
So I think that your assumption is probably very, very good.
It's only an assumption. We're not, you know, we're not giving, you know, facts here, but it is my just assumption. But I want to go back and I want to talk to you about, because you mentioned something about actual visitors to Israel. So when you, like when we, Canadian or US, anybody comes to Israel and we're in need of some kind of equipment, or if we're there and God forbid something happened, we're also, even though, you know, some of us may not be Israeli citizen, we don't live in Israel, it's still, Yatsura still helps them and gives them equipment. Tell us about this.
100%. So I'll tell you something. I just had, well, before this pandemic began, we had a few people who wanted to go from a church group. They wanted to go to Israel, and they had some disabled members that wanted to join them. And we made sure that they had whatever they requested at their hotel. So it doesn't matter who you are, But if you want to visit Israel, we want to make sure that you are able to do so. And people call me all the time and tell me that they're traveling with their husbands. They need a commode for the bathroom in the hotel. They need crutches because they can't get along. They can, there's too many hills and it's very hilly in, let's say, in Jerusalem. So they need a special crutch or something. Whatever they need, they'll request it in advance, and we will try and make sure to facilitate and have it at their hotels for them when they get there. And a lot of times we will even pick them up from the airports, because we have our vans who are wheelchair accessible vans. And if someone needs to be picked up from the airport, we will do that as well.
Wow. Wow, I'm learning a lot of this.
So most people know, I just want to just to clarify one thing. Most people think of us as supplying medical and rehabilitative equipment, but we do so much more. We provide many social services. We have a geriatric dental clinic. We have a children's play therapy center. We have a domestic violence center, which is unfortunately because of the pandemic, there's so much more domestic violence out there. We have a legal services that we provide. So we provide so many other services that people are really not aware of. And I think that if they would visit our website, they would definitely see what we do.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about those services, because you really, piqued my interest here.
Okay, I wanted to tell you a couple of things that I have all the services in my head. And I can talk for 4 hours without even breaking breath. I can do it without taking a breath. But a couple of things I really wanted to mention that I think are very, very important are transportation services. We provide over 500 calls a day to people who need a trip to a chemotherapy. They need a trip to a doctor's appointment. They need to go to university. When I was there a couple of years ago, I spent a day on the vans, and we picked up students in wheelchairs that had to go to the university. We dropped them off. It's the transportation services. It is beyond what we do. We've taken people to their own weddings. We've had people with severe disabilities that couldn't get with their big wedding dresses and the big, the beautiful gowns and the wheel. We've taken them to their weddings. So
accessibility
that's one
service.
Service, major. And I wanted to mention the emergency alarm center, so that for people who are feeling very isolated and alone, and of course aged, the seniors, we provide the alarm services. And this connection is more than just a connection between alarms at the home and us. And of course, we dispatch, let's say, the ambulance or whatever you need. Right. But it provides a caring and loving relationship. People call on the Yatsura just to talk. We have people calling. I've been there midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. They wake up our seniors that are frightened, and they'll call. And there's someone at the desk in Yatsura who will respond and will talk. And that's an incredible service as well. It
certainly is, yes. Yeah, that's beautiful. So how did you get from that into, like you said, you have the children's center?
So there's a children's play center where we do children's therapy, and what happens is a child will be referred to us by their therapist, occupational therapist, and we do different types of therapy with them. We do art therapy, we do play therapy, we even have a special, it's called the toy lending library, where we'll loan out toys and games to families that will help the siblings integrate, where they can learn to play with each other when we have a child that maybe is disabled or cognitively impaired. Then we have games that that they can play together. So that's also a wonderful service that
I got it. So the last question with regards to those I'm going to ask you is, how did you get from that to domestic abuse?
Well, that's You have to speak to our Professor Dr. Shlomit Lehman. She is the head of this unit. And unfortunately, as you are aware of, that it can happen anywhere and any time in any family.
Absolutely.
And of course, when we have the crisis like the pandemic going on now, you know that we see what's going on here in Canada. I mean, my daughter does this for a living, and she tells me that it's terrible. So, but we have there a service that is not only respected, now that's not the word I'm looking for, but is it's not just caring, but we provide you with the necessary help with the proper psychoanalysts, psychologists, all done very quietly, but done properly.
Of course, yes.
And we have a clinic also in Yatsura House. But all of this you can see, because I can talk, you can see on our website. And either the Israeli website has it all, or we have an Israeli Hebrew English website, and we have a Canadian website.
So now all of a sudden, Yatsura, it's something totally different than what I thought it was. Like, amazing.
Exactly.
Like I couldn't even sum it in one sentence what Yatsura was all about, because it's like, I guess it evolved during like so many different things. Wow.
Our founder, Uri Lupulyansky, was really a visionary. I really believe this.
Okay.
He started off with just a little, loaning out medical equipment, not ventilators. In the beginning, it was compressors for nebulizers for inhalations. It started with that. And then we evolved to the wheelchairs. Now we're at the hospital beds. But now we've evolved to a place I just want to mention, and I want to show you a picture. This is called the Yatsura Health and Wellness Center.
Wow.
This is being presently built right now as we speak.
Wow.
And it is going to be a center where people who are recuperating from their strokes, heart attacks, whatever vehicle accidents, they're recuperating, but they're not ready to go home yet. And
So it's like a convalescent home? Something like a convalescent home. Okay.
State of the art convalescent, Israeli style, because it's not like a convalescent home here, but it's Israeli, which makes me so proud. And it is something that we're working on right now and building right now.
That's awesome.
And if people want to know more, or people want to do dedications, we are there and we are ready and available.
Wow. It's too bad that we don't have something like Yatsura here in Canada, because we can certainly use this service.
100%. When I started 16 years ago, I thought maybe we could try and do it, but unfortunately, because of the government and the different, we have different laws.
Yeah, lots of red tape. Yeah,
lots of red tape, and red's not my color.
That's amazing. So what's in the near future for Yatsura?
So what right now is, of course, my job here is, of course, to raise awareness and funds. I would love to break down each unit and discuss each unit and with everyone, so that people should know who we are and what we do. But my job is still to just try and publicize, raise awareness, and raise funds. I go into the schools, I go into, I speak to different church groups. I'm invited to different places to talk about what we do, because we help everyone. And we hope that everyone will partner with us and help us.
So how can we help you now, since the pandemic? You cannot really go into schools, into churches, and you cannot really, do much, unfortunately, raise awareness. Exactly. So how can we help you? I mean, this is your chance. There's viewers that are watching you. That how can we help you?
I'd say call me in the office, or go on my website to learn more about us, and see if this is something that you would like to support, because support is something that we are dependent on, and we need all your help. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our supporters that we have over the last 16 years. I've met amazing people, amazing supporters and philanthropists, people who give me every month, people who give me once a year, people who give me over 5 years. And each and every dollar is so important. And what else I just want to say is Yatsura not only helps just the individual, but will help other organizations. We have many organizations in Israel who come to us for advice and for assistance as well. We're like an umbrella for many, many organizations.
That's amazing. You know, it just shows you what kind, how do we put it nicely, that we're amazing people, that we actually help each other in Israel and to help those in need, whether you have money or not. This has nothing to do with money. So, if somebody is in need, they're there to help him. Very hard to find it in many other countries that you can just get everything for free, because I know that my mother at one time needed a wheelchair, and you know, we had to buy it. There was nobody was going to give it to us, like, you know, let us borrow it. Like, we needed to buy it. So I'm saying it's such amazing to show that kind of people. I mean, I'm very proud to be a part of it, part of those people.
So am I. Let me tell you something. And over the last 16 years,
Amazing.
you know, people have always asked me, "You're still doing it? You still love it?" I said, I love the organization. And if I was living in Israel, I would be there volunteering. Our 7,000 volunteers are not just volunteers, they're family members. We have 7,000 family members that assist us every single day.
But Arlene, you cannot go to Israel because Yatsura needs you here. You need to
Thank you. But I'll tell you what I want to do. And Gila, maybe you can help me with this. I would like.
She's going to volunteer me now.
Yes, I am going to. After the pandemic, God willing, it should go over quickly. We should get the vaccine. Once the pandemic is over, I would like to take a group of people from here, from across Canada, to Israel, not just to see Yatsura, but to experience Yatsura, to volunteer, to help with the equipment repair, and to see Israel the way we should see Israel. I mean, I would like to do it
through a different lens, not through the media lens.
Exactly.
To a very different lens. Yeah, to the actual lens, and not the way we're portrayed around the world. I agree with you 100%, and I will help you.
Oh, wonderful. I'll hold you to it.
So each time, like, unfortunately, our time is up. Tell, you know, your last word, what you want to say to our viewers.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, that is my last word. Thank you so much. Please learn about us and remember us. That's basically it. And thank you so much, Gila. It was so nice to be able to talk to you. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. It's my pleasure. And thank you for the good work that you're doing. And I'm sure we'll talk some more, and we'll bring you on the show again as soon as this pandemic is over. And let's see who wants to join us to go to Israel. We'll continue talking about that. Thank you so much, Arlene. It was a pleasure to have you, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Shalom.